What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We are back for our podcast for our second time. We missed a
Yes,
few
we are.
weeks, but we are back at it. We actually had a big week last week. We went to Accelerate with the Guaranteed Rate team, and that was awesome. That was actually at Gillette, but we are happy to be back. And we actually have a few questions, I guess, that came in. We're not going to be too long today. We just figured we will touch, say hi, see if anybody else has any questions and kind of go from there. Do you have anything to add, Amanda?
No, I had a great time at Accelerate. I definitely recommend it for people to go next year. It was a
That was
wonderful
awesome.
event, and actually, I learned a lot. I
I did
learned a
too.
lot about
Yes.
interest rates, mortgage
Yeah.
rates.
Where we think we're going to be going this year.
Yeah.
And we definitely should be headed in the right direction, which is very exciting. I know we have 2 feet of snow right now. The spring feels really far away, but it's
Yeah.
going to be here before we know it. So I think it's just going to be good to, just trying to stay active and moving as we go and, kind of go from there. So, actually, if everybody hasn't heard, we are now trying to put it out there. We are having a big flip side event. Um, Actually, it's going to be sponsored by Total Mortgage as well. They are coming to our office on Friday. We are wicked excited about that. That's going to be at Joe Angelo's on March 6th, where we're going to talk about the ins and outs of investing, how to start, what you can do, really how much money you need, and kind of go into detail about that. So we are both really, really excited.
And that's gonna be at Joe Angelo's March 6th at 6:30.
6:30.
It's on Main Street in Brockton.
Crescent Street.
Crescent Street.
It is. It's on.
Okay,
It's off
the
of Main
corner.
Street, but yeah, right on the corner. Nice parking.
Yeah.
Great function rooms, so it should be a really good time. We're gonna have food, music, drinks, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out, DM Amanda or me, and we'll make sure to secure you a spot. And we can't wait for that. But just wanted to touch base really quick. We do have a couple questions, so just figured we can kind of go into it. Design trends that buyers love right now. So I would say we are kind of stepping out of the whole farmhouse things, the white and black, the white cabinets with the black hardware.
Okay.
We are seeing a lot of the golds. I think gold's neutral colors. A lot of like the honey islands, honey kitchens, different colors. The green is huge. So I'm trying to incorporate that into the houses that we're doing right now, because as you guys know, there are a lot going on at the moment, which is exciting.
Yeah. And you got the honeycomb tiles in that
Yes.
nice house in Hanover. That's a nice trend going on
Absolutely. Too. Yeah, neutral, very sand colors, are very in. I think we're getting out of that a little bit, that drastic black and white, which I still like. I definitely still see it a lot on the outside of houses, but I think people are doing them less inside. I think they're real switching. Yeah, the warmer, the gold, which is beautiful. We did that in Hanover a lot, Whitman as well. And it's been coming out really nice. So we're definitely going to be continuing that into the spring. Another question we have right now is, how much money do you really need to start flipping, and hard money? So this is a question I get asked a lot, because you really don't know. I mean, I really didn't know. I took out a commercial loan on my investment property. So I ended up, I have enough equity in there. I got about 150,000. So I was able to take that, and that's where I was able to do the first flip. Okay. So, then that was with the hard money. So hard money, you need about 10%. My lender that I usually use, Finance of America Commercial, shout out to Trevor if he sees this, who's been excellent. They make me, it's about 10% down. So let's say you're buying a $500,000 house. That is going to be about 50,000, but you're going to have points. They charge 1 point, which is actually, it's incredible. I actually haven't found anybody to beat that rate. Right now they're offering 8.99, 1 point. Now I also have done a few, so it might be a slightly bit higher, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 points, but definitely nothing above that. So, you really, I would say realistically, going into your first flip, you should have about $100,000 at least on hand, just because you don't know sometimes. And you can get that from somebody else and pay interest. That's something I've done with people as well. Once you kind of, they see your history, they're able to, trust you a little bit. You could borrow those funds, but I would say 100,000 is a good amount that you need to
get started.
This will kind of go into the
Yeah.
next
I was
question.
gonna say this goes great to the next
Yeah,
question.
to the next first flips mistakes to avoid. I would say be careful, because in the beginning I did partner up. I partnered up with friends and things of that nature, and it doesn't always end so well. So you really need to make sure, if you're partnering with somebody, make sure you're partnering with somebody who's very well versed in the flipping, contracting, real estate fields. And there is a clear, what would we say? Clear boundary of what everybody's roles are. So everybody knows kind of what they are. Is your partner just funding the money? Because if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, that's where things can kind of get
fall
messy.
apart.
Exactly. And I do think the average person, and this is not, to say who has never done this, you don't, the market's changing. As a realtor, you kind of know where you should kind of price, where the offers are going to come in. We really truly know the market in this area. So that's the edge that we do have over, average people. We're studying it all day long. So that is definitely one thing. So I would say that would be to avoid. Also, another major flip mistake I would say to avoid, guys, it's not 2021. It's not 2021 where you're getting $50,000 over asking. Everybody's waiving inspections. Inspections are happening. You need to make sure that, at least at the bare minimum, your heating systems, your plumbing, all that kind of stuff is up to date. Roof is very important. A lot of insurance companies are not giving insurance if the roof is not in decent condition. So that is also something to look out for. So those really basics, windows, roof, heating systems, plumbing, those are top. Electrical, those are your top things. You can make it look as beautiful in the whole, as you can, but without, those are the bare bones. And people really truly, especially first time home buyers coming in, and they don't want to come in and have to replace the whole electrical or things like that. I mean, it's taken years to build up people that you truly trust. So those are definitely things that I would say are main mistakes that you really, really, truly should try to avoid.
Definitely, definitely avoid those.
Yes, but as as we said, and quite frankly, this is a very hard time for flippers. It is a hard market. The prices are still high, inventory's low, and it's hard to find them. Something comes on and it's price cheap, there are going to be 50 other contractors going against you. We are working to try to find them off market and things of that nature, getting in there before they hit the market to see if you can make something. But once it goes out, it's hard. It's hard. So, the fact the margins aren't as high, you're not going to make $500,000 or something like that on the flips.
So then how would you go about finding those off market deals if you're saying that's probably the best bet to avoid a bidding war with other contractors?
Exactly.
How would you find those?
And I have to be perfectly honest, I have been finding them the same way other people have. I find them on MLS. I find them on these through wholesalers. There are a lot of wholesalers out there who come and they can get the property under contract, do one showing, and then have the investors come in and cash offer. Cash offer is also hard money because it's very similar. You can close a loan in 2 weeks. So basically, from start to finish, they can do everything in 2 weeks. So I have a lot of connections with wholesalers. Now I'm trying to put it out there where agents are contacting me directly when they find something distressed, and that's worked out great. So now that's really what I'm trying to do. This is kind of the point, of making these podcast videos and stuff, so people know that. Because another thing is, being an agent, I can take less of a cut. I mean, I could do a smaller margin when you can factor commission in and so forth, because we don't have to pay somebody outside of that. So we're also here. We want to help homeowners. You're in a tough situation. Your house isn't ready to be put on the open market, but we can go in and look past all the junk, the dirt, everything else, and see what it's really worth. When, the smells, everything. I mean, there isn't anything we haven't seen. So, location is important, the lot, the town, those are the things, the bones, the structure. I mean, if the house is collapsing, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But if our someone passed away, your great aunt who has no family, and now you're left with this house and you don't know what to do, we please reach out, because we would love to at least have the chance to go in and take a look and see what we can do, because we can even clean it up and get it ready to sell too.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You don't even have to sell it off market, but we have the resources now where we're able to do that. So
Sounds good.
yeah. So, but we're excited. I think I'm kind of in a period where it's January now, and things are moving not as fast as it was maybe a couple months ago, and it's like, all right, what do we do? We're in the building stage. So we're in the building stage, getting everything settled, and we are excited.
Pulling permits.
Exactly. The electrical, the framing, the plumbing, all that.
And then we'll get back to the fun stuff with the design trends. And
yes. And I'm excited too to put this out to you guys, and you guys can give me your opinions. What do you think are the latest trends? What new trends have you seen that you really love? If you could have any house in the world, what would it have in it? What are your things that you would need? So I'm curious
your
to hear that too. Your must-haves. Would love to hear that list. So
I just want to thank everyone for joining in today. And we hope to see you there on March 6th.
Yeah.
Come meet us. Come talk to us.
Yep.
And always feel free to message us questions that you want us to answer, or topics that you want to hear about.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I hope you have an awesome Wednesday, and we will be back soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.